How's it going, guys? We are live. Welcome to our live view video today. Basically a Q&A little, and then basically just talking about how to wholesale your first real estate deal. This has been a very important topic. I don't think a lot of people talk about this a lot. And it's something that, a lot of these gurus and YouTube guys out there, they always talk about it. Like they like to talk all high level and, systems and stuff, but no one really likes to bring it back to the basics of wholesaling real estate, just getting your first real estate wholesaling deal. So really want to help you guys break down and really find point in your business right now, how to get your first wholesaling real estate deal. So if you guys can like this video and subscribe, I'll get some people going in here and love to answer your questions. So let me check the lighting out really quick and let me get going, guys. There we go. It's a lot better. So let's start answering some questions. And really, but before I do answer some questions, I do want to go over some of my tips for wholesaling your first real estate deal. So the number one thing I can tell you right now with wholesaling your first deal is you're going to have an action plan. If you come out here trying to wholesale without an action plan, you are going to be set up for failure. So having your own action plan is I don't have to create an action plan for you. You could literally do it yourself. So see if I can move this over here. But really making your own action plan is probably one of the most important things out there. So you need to decide what you need to be doing in your real estate wholesaling business to actually get your first deal. That is the difference between the guys that get their first deal or the difference between it takes them 9 months to get their first wholesaling deal versus someone, they get their first deal in a month is they made an action plan. So an action plan can be something as simple as, hey, I have $500 to spend in marketing this month. I need to make a plan. If you don't make a plan, you're going to get screwed up. Kind of like your whole day, honestly. So if I have a budget for time, I know, hey, at 9 a.m., I got to get up in the morning or, get up at 7. And then at 8 to 9, I got to go work out. And then I got X, Y, Z. I got to do from 9 to 5. Or, you just have a set plan of what you got to get done through the day and you get it done. You do a lot better if you go loosey-goosey and just try to figure it all out, So I think it's just so important to go out there and try to get everything done through an action plan. So if I got $500, I know I got to pull the code violations list, the probate list, the eviction list, and the water shutoff list. And then after that, I'll go skip trace that list on True People Search and then go cold call it on Google Voice. And I'm going to do 100 calls a day for 30 days straight. Like that's what it's going to be. Also, excuse it. We got some people working outside the office today. So there's going to be dogs barking and everything like that. But kind of out of my control, but I'll, talk a little more if I can. So making the action plan is so important, but really building that rapport with sellers and actually learning how to talk to sellers is one of the most important parts too. So without further ado, let me know what market you guys are in and how I can help you out in your real estate wholesaling business. So first, Royal says, I have a deal that I haven't sent to title yet, and the tenant will not move out since they extended the no eviction until July 1st. Jeez. How do I cancel this deal since I didn't send to title yet? In my personal opinion, if you can get an extension for after July 1st, that would probably be best. That's my personal opinion. Again, if this is your first real estate wholesaling deal, like I would try to hold on to this deal as close as possible. And that's all I could say. Like it's probably pretty important to get that deal done. So that's what I'm thinking. But really, if you want to cancel it, you get something in writing to actually cancel that contract. But that's kind of what I'm thinking at right now on that one. So, hey Graham, how's it going? Action plan. Action plan is so important for your real estate wholesaling business, guys. I can tell you, it is so important. So RCCHMND says 100 calls or 100 people to talk to. What I'm saying is I think you should make a goal to talk to at least 100 people. If you can hit that goal, that is way better than not doing it. But I would say 100 calls a day is kind of very small. Like honestly, maybe pull 100 like really important like leads a day. That's probably what I'm thinking. But 100 calls, probably that's a little light. I mean, I used to cold call literally to get my first wholesaling deal virtually when I was in college. I literally used to, this is the truth. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I used to cold call 2 to 7 p.m. every single day. And is that a little excessive? Yes. But it got me my first couple wholesaling deals. So virtually, again, everyone knows my story. My first wholesaling deal was from a Bandit sign. And I made an action plan actually to get my first wholesaling deal, I was going to put Bandit signs outside my high school wrestling tournaments, and I was going to put at least 15 out for every high school wrestling tournament I did. I had a tournament every week. So it changed my whole entire life, but it's an action plan. It's like if you're trying to lose weight, I can say analogies all day, but like, hey, I'm going to eat 1,800 calories a day, and that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to work out, for 45 minutes. I'm going to do a walk, and I'm going to do 45 minutes of weightlifting. Like, that's my action plan. Going to a gym and not knowing what to do, it's not going to be the best. So I would think 100 people to talk to a day probably be best, but it depends on the lead. Like 100 calls for a driving for dollars lead is going to be a million times better than 100 high equity ones. Because 200 driving for dollars leads is the average. I mean, Deal Machine, like I had the David Lecko on my podcast. It's what he said. He said statistically, all you need is like 200 of these like leads for driving for dollars, and you'll get there. So I would say that. So also, this is the first broadcast where I am simultaneously broadcasting on the Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group too. So that's pretty cool. So we'll have some of those guys in my actual mastermind. They'll actually ask questions. Now, this isn't a mastermind call. This is more of a Q&A. So the mastermind calls is kind of where we collaborate, and that will actually be on Wholesaling Houses for Real. So if you want the link to my free mastermind, it's a $10,000 mastermind, all for free. I'm going to change the color. This is like, it's hard to read it from there. We'll get like a dark blue. Let's see. We'll go, do a little darker blue there. But the mastermind is below me, and from there, we can basically collaborate. It's like a $5,000 mastermind, literally. Actually, it's like a $10,000 mastermind, and we collaborate, guys. Like, it's not a coaching call. I'm actually going to probably stream those mastermind calls live, but you can't hop on the Zooms unless you're actually a part of it. I have to approve you, and we got to make sure you're not a guru. So you click below, facebook.com/group/wholesaling houses for real. You can actually join the Zooms. But this is more of a Q&A. So if you got questions, let me know. I want to collaborate. I'm way ahead of you here. But today we are just talking about wholesaling, your first real estate wholesaling deal. And if you're watching this and you're making $500K a year in wholesaling, let me know what your first real estate wholesaling deal was and actually how you did it. Because I'm telling you, there's people watching this right now that has not gotten their first wholesaling deal, and they want to know. So if you can, try to get some inspiration for someone watching this right now. Guarantee there's a teenager out here who has not gotten their first deal, who's discouraged. They're watching the right stuff here on this channel, but they don't know what to do to get their first wholesaling deal. I think it's very important that we kind of try to get them and try to help as much as possible. So let's see here. Let's go over some questions. Taking consistent action. I 100% agree to it. Taking consistent action is so important for your real estate wholesaling business. I'm in Cincinnati, and I'm looking at local Facebook groups. There are a couple of guys getting all the deals. Should I do virtual in another market? No, dude. Cincinnati is an absolute killer market, man. I would do Cincinnati. That's a good market, man. So I would be in Cincinnati. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of dudes out there doing really well in there, but honestly, what's stopping you from doing it? There's plenty of 7-figure guys out there in Cincinnati, and we'll get it done. Now, if you guys are new here and you don't know who I am, my name is Zach Ginn. I'm a 21-year-old real estate wholesaler, 7 figures, out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. And that's my real estate wholesaling market. As you can know, as you see, this isn't the fanciest setup we got in the world here. I'm wearing a regular fishing t-shirt. I got a nice microphone. I'm drinking water. I'm not the slick salesman. I'm a legit wholesaler. I do very well in my business, and I want to help you guys out. So if you're looking for a very fancy guru who's trying to sell you stuff, I ain't the guy. I'm going to tell you what the truth is, and I'm going to give you all this knowledge that the gurus will give you for free. I'm not going to put on my fancy shirts and the Rolex watch to try to impress you. I got no ego. I invest most of my money back into my business and into assets. So I'm not the guy that's going to get all the flashy stuff. So if you guys are looking for that, this is the wrong place to be. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Again, the reason why I wear a t-shirt, not a suit and stuff to impress you guys is hey, I only work, I don't work a lot, maybe 4 hours a day at most, because I delegate everything. We got marketers, we got acquisitions people, dispositions. I'm not in the I'm in the trenches because we do run the whole operation, and I'll bring the camera over to the deals. But I'm at the point where we hit 7 figures. I don't have to work at all, basically, just because We got the delegation, the systems down for 7 figures wholesaling without even working in the business. That's the dream. That's kind of what I like. That's eventually where you want to get from your first deal over here. And I'll handhold you through the whole thing. I'm here to help you guys out, but don't get discouraged. That first deal is one of the most important ones for you. So I have a team of 3. We pull every list and told us to do, but we do we all cold call it and text at the same time? My personal opinion for you, nothing to something. Let me go move this over. My personal opinion for you, nothing to something, is I think that you should cold call the list first and then text it, or text it and then cold call that entire list. The reason why I'm telling you you should do that is because I believe texting the list is the easiest, but you're going to get deals that you have never gotten cold calling than texting. So, for example, I've done tests before on like a list of 10,000 where I'll get 2 deals from texting that list of 10,000, and they're nice deals, like $20,000, $30,000 deals. Like, they're nice, but then I'll cold call that list and get 3,000. I mean, I'll get 3 deals out of that 10,000. So that's 5 deals from one list. But it's like, why didn't I get these 3 deals from the texting? And then how did I get these deals from texting but not cold calling? Just some marketing channels are going to work way better than others. And for your certain seller, it might work better doing it the other way. So in my personal opinion, I think you should text the list first and then cold call it, because texting is easier. No worries. Call Tools is a great one. I love Call Tools. Just got my first contract signed today for a quadrupleplex in Virginia, virtually from Tampa. Sweet, man. I'm proud of you, man. That's awesome, dude. I'm telling you, get that thing wholesaled. For a quadplex, those things are hot. They are on fire right now, man. So I think if you find the right buyer, dude, you are going to be rolling in a pretty good deal there, man. I'm proud of you, man. Thank you for choosing to hang out with us here. But yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. Glad to hear. You are good, man, Zach. Appreciate you taking time for us, dude. Anything for you guys. Hey, Zach, love your videos. Was wondering if you could give advice for virtual wholesalers when it comes to filing taxes on profits from wholesaling. Okay. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a lawyer, CPA, financial advisor, any of that stuff. Hey, I'm just a real estate wholesaler. I'm not licensed. I'm none of this stuff. So that being said, don't sue me, bro. Don't sue me, guys. Like, don't sue me. So made it clear, I'm not a CPA, financial advisor, lawyer, attorney, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not a realtor either. So that being said, so for virtual wholesaling, when it comes to filing taxes and profits and doing all that stuff, there's a million things you can do. In my personal opinion, I will tell you the cheapest thing to do is to file the right corporation depending on your income. Now, some incomes, if you're under $300,000, an S corp might be better if you're married. If you're under 150, S corp might be the best. Again, I'm not a lawyer. Like, if you guys are a lawyer, you might be screaming at me right now. I don't want to give you advice. This is just general what I've seen. For virtual wholesalers, though, to get the best one, I recommend an S corp, LLC if you're under 50K, and then over 300K, probably a C corp is probably the best for you. Depending on your state, I'm in Florida, so there's no state income tax, which makes me a happy guy. But I would say not 9 corporations I work with or work on, basically with all the businesses that I run. I got some crazy ones outside of real estate too. They're basically C corps, and that's it. And then personal assets, I mean, we got those too. So the only one asset, just make sure you guys are buying assets, and you can write them off, but don't be scared to pay taxes. Like, if you have, like, I know so many guys are like, oh, I'm so scared to pay. Sometimes you just got to pay taxes and then put that into like cash flowing assets. And then from there, I like the Grant Cardone rule. He's got a 40% rule, which I think is pretty awesome. What he says is 40% of your income, you probably have to pay that in taxes. That other 40% you put into investing, and then the 20% is what you live on until you can live on your passive income. Pretty cool. 360 Flip 1993. What's up? Could you repeat your free list you pull from your local area, and where do you pull them? Pre-foreclosure, water shut off. Hey, no problem, man. Or gal. Sorry. But I would say my favorite ones are right now. Probates are my favorite. Code violations are great. Pre-foreclosures, I use listrei.com for that. Water shut off, you can go to listrei.com for that too. But you can go to your local utilities department and possibly get that. Sometimes you can't. So just be careful with that one. And then from there, there's eviction list, credit card debt lists, like there's a million lists, divorce lists. You can go target those. That is basically the top free ones I can give you. There's not like crazy lists that are going to like solve all your problems, but it's one of the best ones out there. So that's what I want to do. And then you can technically do it for free. There's 7-day free trial, listrei.com. That's the link there. But yeah, Yolanda says, give us the knowledge. I'm here to help you guys out as much as possible. And Tony says, hey, Zach, I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Dude, amazing real estate wholesaling market. Have a seller asking $115,000, but running comps on it, and it seems a bit high. Batch says it should be at $85,000. Okay. So remember, like Batch is great data there. Listrei.com's got great data. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. For comps, if the comps are coming at 85, they probably want more than what the thing's worth. So just see their motivation. Now, ask the 4 questions when it comes to qualifying your sellers in real estate wholesaling. Those 4 questions are as followed. So the 4 questions here is, number 1, you basically want to ask them what their motivation for selling it, why they're looking to actually sell the property. Number 2 is your condition of the property, like how's the roof, the kitchen, AC, stuff like that. Third is time frame, when they're actually looking to sell the property. Is this something looking to sell within 3 months? Is this looking to sell within like a week? Just kind of get that going. Now, if they want to sell in like way out in the future and the property's in pristine condition and they have really no motivation to sell, probably won't be good. Now, if they say, hey, I lost my job and I got to get this new job in Dayton, Ohio. I'm out here in Fayetteville. I got to leave in a month. That's a big problem. And the amount of money you make on your wholesale deal is exactly contingent or associated with the problem you're solving. So the bigger problem you got to solve, the more money you should be making on your spreads. So if there's no problem, you can't really make a lot of money on these deals. So be very careful. Zach Rubin says, what is the best way to show properties to potential buyers if you don't have the keys yet? I recommend, Zach, that's a great name, dude. You spelled it correctly with an H too, man. Cool, man. Cool, Zach. I would say you actually get a lockbox on the property and have the seller put it in there. So your partners can go by and check it out. That is the best course of action, in my personal opinion. That's stuff you got to pay for Mastermind material for. But that's my favorite one to do. Honestly, if you got to bring them through, just ask if I can bring my potential partner through the property. That should help you also. But that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if you need keys, get the keys. And the lockbox is the best one because you don't have to ask. If you got multiple buyers, you got to bring through. He doesn't want to extend. Oops. Where are we at here? He doesn't want to extend at all, and Tenant hasn't paid in 7 months, and I'm having a problem getting him property to get pictures because Tenant keeps pushing the day back. That I can come in. Yeah, if he doesn't want to extend and there's eviction moratorium, it's probably going to be like not possible to get a seller there, but it's going to be extremely difficult. So that's a tough situation, man. Yeah, if you got to get out of it, you just sometimes got to get out of it. Like you can't, if you can't get inside the property, like with you and the cash buyer, like how do they expect you to actually like close on the deal? So that's kind of where I'm at on it. Beto says, how much should I spend on my first list? I have $3,000, but I don't want to waste it. I'm in Cali. Okay. Beto, let me know what part of California you're in. That will help me a lot when helping guys. So if you guys are like asking, like, how do I get my first real estate wholesaling deal? I'm in X market. Guys, I talk to multiple 7-figure, 6-figure wholesalers basically in all 50 states I know. So if you give me a market, it will help me out tremendously. I've been talking to a 7-figure wholesaler every single week on this podcast that I do every Wednesday for over a year now, I think. So I think it started February last year. So I know what works in multiple markets. So if you tell me, hey, you're in Central Valley, like I know what works there, but you're in SoCal, a little different. So if you have $3,000 in general, because you're not really giving me much advice here, I would say you should drive for dollars in your local market. Now, if you're in San Francisco, you probably shouldn't be doing that. Like, you don't be driving around Palo Alto, driving for dollars. That's a bad advice, but I don't know what market you're in. If you're in a decent wholesaling market, I would say you should be driving for dollars. and you should spend that money on skip tracing or in Mojo, ZenCall, Call Tools. Really, Batch Dialer is really good too. But that's probably what I would do. Now, if you don't want to do all that stuff, you can basically pay a service to pull lists like listrei.com, and you can do that. Probably wouldn't text blast, maybe. Like it's hit or miss sometimes. If your virtual wholesaling is different, I would say driving for dollars and save your money and then start calling. The reason why I love that so much is when you're cold calling your driving for dollars list, every hour you're spent talking to sellers, you market. So you get to talk to people who potentially want to sell the property, but you also gain skills talking to these sellers. And the more skills you have talking to these sellers, the better real estate wholesaler you're going to be. You'll have sales skills that will actually help you get these deals sold. I 100% agree that like you should be driving for dollars and cold calling, especially when you're starting out. It will help your sales skills. Sorry, no fancy editing or like color grading this video. Like I just like to keep it real, guys, and I think the people appreciate it. But that's it. So like the more you call, so when I call from 2 to 7 p.m. for a full year straight, I got my 10,000 hours in. It took me 3.5 years basically to get, and I did that. And now I can talk to a seller like no issue. I have the skills. Like I'm not calling myself an expert. It sounds a little weird saying that, but almost an expert doing it. So hopefully I helped you, Beto. Can I virtually wholesale from home? Of course, dude. 100%. Plenty of virtual wholesaling videos. If you want to virtual wholesale your first real estate deal, I recommend free lists and cold calling. I love that. Hey, you can SMS text blast if you don't want to cold call. If you want to actually get 7 figures in this business, you're going to have to learn to talk to sellers. I know it's scary. If you're an introvert, I'm sorry, but like it's the best one to do. You can, like, if you're going to lock up a deal over the contract and you actually want to start getting like really good deals, you're going to have to talk to sellers. Even if you're an introvert, you can still kill it in this business, guys. You're the man, Zach. Jarrett, you're the man. Guys, I 100% thank you so much for your support here on the YouTube channel. Like it means the world to me here. And it's changed my life and it hopefully changing some of your lives. But I'm really appreciate the support you guys give. Like I cannot say enough. You guys have helped me so much more than I can help you. So that's why I try to help as much as I can. What percentage do you spend on marketing? How much do you save and how much do you spend on yourself? Percentage on marketing is not really a percentage. It's pretty much a set number. When it comes to how much I save and how much do you spend on myself, I'm 21 years old. So just to give you some life advice, I guess from me, is the least amount of money I could spend on things that will not produce me assets for the future, I will not. So obviously you got a date or something, go spend it. Like that's money I'll spend. But like for a new Gucci slippers or, cool, like a whip, like it ain't worth it. Like no one's going to care in 30 years when I'm 51 years old, what kind of car I was driving in 2021. But if I have assets, stocks, like I got money in the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, I got killer real estate, like a real estate portfolio for days, cash flowing me. That's something in 30 years people are going to be impressed by, not by your Rolex that's 30 years old. Like if someone goes and pulls up on you in a 1991, showing you their 1991 Rolex, it's not going to be as cool as if someone showed you like this crazy multifamily deal that was built in 1991. Like that's way more impressive than 30 years. The chains, all that stuff. These things, I've had these 2 chains on me since I was 14 years old. So I will spend the least amount on myself. Obviously, there's just stuff you want to spend on. Obviously, food, shelter, things like that. But pretty hyper aggressive because at 21 years old, that money compounds like an insane amount. So if you're a 7-figure wholesaler and like I'm just putting that cash flowing assets that compound over time, it's killer. So that's what I do. And then on myself, I mean, obviously food, housing, stuff like that, health insurance, but like I'm not spending on crazy stuff. Now, obviously I'll like upgrade the setups and stuff, but I mean, I keep it pretty low key, not a minimalist, but like I just try to just create cash flow. That's what I love. I'm obsessed with it. Who do you send to look at the property before you put it under contract? Our acquisitions guys always always there to lock it up while looking at it. If it's virtual, we'll have pictures from the seller usually, or we'll have someone like take a picture there, like a runner or something like that, boots on the ground. Ashcon, what's up? What's up, Zach? Wish I could stay and watch it, but I have to leave to study for my permit test, which is tomorrow. By the time you see this, I've left, but I hope you have a great live. Ashcon, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. You were on the live last week. You're an absolute killer, man. I 100% believe in you, man. All blessings to you. Wish you the best. Praying for your success. What's up, Merrick? I'm an insurance adjuster. My schedule is pretty unpredictable, but with good money. If you had an unlimited amount of capital to invest, how would you go about automating early for a 12? So if you're working 12 hours, if I had unlimited money, I would do direct mail. Uh, Depending on your market, man. Again, you didn't really tell me your market, but if I had unlimited money, I would spend $4,000 a month in direct mail. And like, that's what I would do in my virtual market. Now, most guys shouldn't be doing this. You have way better ROIs on your money. If I just had $3,000, I would not spend the $3,000 on direct mail. But if I had unlimited money for my first real estate wholesaling deal, listaria.com, high equity list, and filter it out. And then from there, basically mail that out. Now, the filters, high equity, 60% or equity more. Make sure they've owned the house for 3 years. Make sure it's not on the market. Those are the filters I'd be kind of doing from there. And then pushing it on the hottest zip codes. List Source Hack will let you do it. If you need help with that, comment below on this YouTube video and I'll just share it with you. But that's it, guys. Long live Simba. Hey, Zach, thank you so much. You're always on these lives, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate your questions. Long live Simba. Hey, Zach, updated my problem. Seller wants 65 ARV. Okay. Oh, 65 grand. ARV is 160. Okay. Tenant can be moved out with a 60 eviction. Sweet. Since he's a verbal month to month, I think this is a deal. Bro, you need to tell me what the repairs are, dude. If you tell me the repairs, I will know instantly. Let me know the repairs, and then I'll tell you if it's a deal or not. Like that, I need the repairs. So I can reverse engineer it for you though. So if your repairs are, let me pull up my calculator here. So 160K. I mean, roughly, if your repairs are under 40, I think it's a deal. Let's see if he commented. No, didn't see your comment yet. But comment below what the repairs are. Love to help. How do you scale up and automate fast? In my opinion, to scale up and automate fast, first get your first deal, become an expert, make at least 100K a year in your wholesaling real estate business. Then from there, delegate it and scale it up like crazy. Read the book Traction. That is what I can 100% like recommend for you guys right now if you want to scale up and automate your business like fast. Be an expert, like learn the wholesaling's in and outs, and then you can teach people how to do it, and then you don't have to work in the business, kind of like what I do. All right, Tiana, hopefully I said her name right. Really sorry if I'm bad at saying names. I'm living in New York currently, and I know the market is tough out here for a beginner. I was considering virtual in Tampa, surrounding area to start with. I watched your hot zip code video and followed along, and it seems good, but just trying to make sure I'm triple checking before script tracing a list. What part of New York are you in? Like, are you in New York City, Brooklyn, Bronx, or like you're in Rochester? Huge difference. So let me know, but I would say Tampa is a hard one. I would maybe choose like Orlando. That's less saturated, but there's still a amount of good deals there. But Tampa, you can still make it work. It's a little tougher out there, but there's still deals there. Just a lot of saturation. Followed up and trying to make sure I'm triple checking for skip tracing the list. Yeah, that's what I do. If you have a limited budget trying to get your first virtual wholesaling deal, maybe choose like a Nashville or, Central Georgia. There's just some little better markets than Tampa, in my personal opinion. Just I look for people that do very well in virtual wholesaling and there's less competition. I have a video dropping. Actually, why I have this. I have a video dropping. This is probably going to be my favorite video I've done this year because it answers the number one question. And these gurus are going to kill me because I'm sharing it because I know I got this knowledge. This video will be dropping. I'll give you the date right now. This video is going to drop April 19th. Sorry, guys. So April 19th, I will share my top 10 virtual wholesaling markets. Put that on your calendar. The top 10 virtual wholesaling markets. If you want to make 7 figures or 6 figures, get your first deal. I'm really sharing it like all. So I'm very excited for that one. April 19th, that will be dropping. So when it gets some hype for that video, when it be one of my top videos ever. So give you my top 10 virtual wholesaling markets. It's going to be insane. It's going to be an interesting one. So, but Knoxville and that Tennessee area is really good on there. Chattanooga is great too. Can't get picks because Tenant is son. Ooh, okay. That's a killer, man. Okay. Tenant thinks dad owes him money and being very stubborn. It's a tough one. Like sometimes you got to knock on the door and try to get like pictures inside of it. So obviously you probably can't get the repair numbers on there. If you can get rough numbers, but honestly, at 65, I'll lock that thing up and evict them and then bring a cash buyer through or put a lockbox on there. That's my personal opinion. Thank you so much for the PDF tip to get traction. EOS so helpful. Hopefully you paid for the PDF, but obviously you get free ones out there. Obviously, you guys should always be paying for your books and stuff. We'll never recommend someone to pirate anything, but it is possible. Tiana, I'm in New York as well. Sweet, sweet, sweet. RK, what's up? RK had the crane today. He was sharing on the Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group. RK, I hope you're watching this. When I tell you that Rick wants to operate one of those things, just because like he watched Gold Rush once and he's like, that'd be fun to do. He legitimately wants to like operate one of those things one day, and I'm gonna put him on a video. He's gonna do it, but he'd die to like go like one of those machines, and it's just funny. Like he loves that stuff. So he's never a construction guy, but Rick would absolutely love it. So I thought it was a really funny post he did there. But yeah, dude, let me know what market you're in. Like you're posting great deals and stuff, dude. I'd love to know. You're always showing love on the channel. Really appreciate, man. Thank you so much. Property has a new stove, fridge, cabinets, original hardwood floors, new bathroom, all done. Yeah, dude. Like if it's the sun, he can't be trashing it too bad. Roof leak at 65, dude. You lock that thing up all day. Do a $500 earnest money deposit and leave a very long inspection period. I think you have a killer deal on your hands, dude. That's my personal opinion. Where do you pull your list from? Again, I pull my lists from listrei.com, which is below me here, listrei.com. And remember, guys, if you're watching this, smash that like button and subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, like this, share it to 5 places. I don't care. Please. Helps me out a lot on the algorithm, so we can help these guys not pay money for gurus. And if you're on YouTube, like this video and subscribe, and also comment. Commenting is probably one of the top things you can do here. The more you comment and watch this live, the more the YouTube algorithm shares this to more people. And then the more people that watch this means the more people that don't have to pay for gurus. And we can put these gurus out of business really quick. Also, every time I say this, I look at the ticker. The views spike every time because someone will comment or like this video, and it just helps. So appreciate it. Royal says, how do you wholesale a deal and cash check using your LLC? Wholesale deal, and then the check is payable to Zach Ginn LLC or whatever LLC you want to do. That's kind of the way to do it, in my personal opinion. What do you think of a probate that are on PropStream right now? No, they're too old. That's my personal opinion. I love probates. I love listrei.com, but I will not pull probates from there. Check the time, make sure we're all good here. Boom, boom, boom. And we're going to check one thing. Just make sure the stream is good so everyone can hear me. Perfect. Let's just check that. All right, perfect. Always just checking that the volume's working on all of the streams, so we're not in trouble here. But keep asking your questions. I'm here to help you guys out. So let's keep it up. What's up, Zach? What do you think about upstate New York market? Dude, if you're watching this, I did a video yesterday, did a live with Dan Bro. Dan's in Rochester, New York. He's spending, I think, 10 grand at least a month in TV ads up there. Killer interview about his sales like process in upstate New York, dude. Shares how he does it with attorneys and stuff. If you're in upstate New York, like watch that video. Do it with Dan Bro. How to make 100K a year in real estate wholesaling. Did that yesterday. Keep watching this video. Help the algorithm out. But after that, hop on there. Put in your save to later on YouTube, bro. So Jermeek, you're on Facebook. Go to Flip with Rick on YouTube and go in there and then watch that interview. Also on the Zach Ginn YouTube channel too. But yeah. If you have 5,000 of starting over and you didn't know anything, what would you do? Again, I would drive for dollars and cold call that list. Just the truth. I'd pull probates, cold call that list, pull code violations. I want to save that $5,000. And then from there, I'd keep pushing it to the limit. That's it. I just think of Scarface, push it to the limit. Love that song. I love the movie Scarface, even though a lot of bad stuff, but it's all a movie. So like Wolf of Wall Street. I love that movie, but also, guys, I've been getting a lot of questions. What's the difference between the Zach Ginn channel and the Flip with Rick channel? The Zach Ginn channel is exclusively me. I basically talk about real estate wholesaling, real estate investing, finance, stuff that interests me on there. And then the Flip with Rick channel is exclusive for real estate investing only. So looking to get some more new content for Zach Ginn that's different than the Flip with Rick channel, has new content that's unique with Rick also. But I'll go live on both of them so I can just help the most amount of people possible. Hey Zach, is it possible wholesale properties that are vacant and owned by an LLC? Of course, man. I usually mostly don't do LLCs, but I would say mostly trusts because I'm in Florida. There's a lot of older people that put their properties in trusts. So trust is mostly where we do them at. But no, it is 100% possible with an LLC. I've done an LLCs before, but mostly trusts, not a big deal. Have the owner of the LLC do it. Like Joseph Dancy, you would put Joseph Dancy for the JD LLC or, the trust. Not really that complicated. All good stuff. Yes, sir. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Thank you. Let's go. All righty. I don't comment any politics because, guys, I'm not a political guy. I'm in one party, and that's the wholesaling real estate party. I've just transcended politics. Like it's just, you will never win the fight. So I don't care. Like Biden won, Trump will, honestly, it doesn't matter. Like it will not affect my bottom line too much. Whoever wins the elections. And honestly, if you spend that time in your real business, you'll make more money. So that's the way I always look at it. If you had 30 days to get a deal, or you would die, what would you do? Pretty dire situation. But if that was my situation, what I would do is I would run out of my car right now, get the keys, fill up the gas, and I would start door knocking on every single door I possibly could in Port St. Lucie, Florida right now. Now, if I go on appointments, I'm not wearing a regular fishing shirt. I will wear a collared shirt, be a little nicer, more presentable. Obviously, shave, and so what I do, I'd knock on every single door in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and ask them if they were possibly looking to sell their property for cash because I'm looking to buy some more. And the reason I'm calling you is because I like the neighborhood, and honestly, I've bought in deals. If I knock on someone's door, I've 99% chance I've bought a house within 0.1 miles from them. So I can say that. And that's what I would do. And eventually, probably after 7 days, I'll get a deal. But I would be working 16-hour days. If I'm going to die, I'm working 16 hours, closer to 20 hours, just door knocking. If my life's on the line, someone in my family, a loved one's life, my dog's life's on the line, I'm going out there and I'll be knocking on doors all day. That'd be the fastest way. Second fastest way, I'd be driving for 16, 17 hours a day. That's what I'd be doing right now. Screw cold calling. If I got to pass away, I got to get a deal within a week, make sure everything's as smooth as possible. That's what I would do. But that's dire stuff, man. That's very dire stuff. North Cali, a little tougher. I'd probably get in some virtual wholesaling from there. What works in or near San Diego? Check out Greg Hellback. He's out there in San Diego. He does very well. My personal opinion is I think you should do virtual wholesaling for San Diego. It's a very tough market, but I think you could still do pretty well doing it, but that's just my personal opinion. Why do people think it's hard to get a deal? I just fish off of Facebook Marketplace. Interesting. Can you comment below how you're doing that? That'd be actually pretty cool. Fishing off of Facebook Marketplace is still a great way to get deals, dude. I'm more interested in how you're doing it, though. Maybe you can provide some value for someone today. I know how I do it, but it's a little more difficult to do, so a little crazier. So let me know how you do it, man. It seems pretty interesting to me. Hey, I have a list. I'm ready to send out SMS. I have REI Simply. Do you recommend I use something else? SMSZach.com is what I use. Again, test out SMS in your market before you go buy a big subscription service. I always recommend, I use batch leads. That's what I use. I've told you guys a million times. This is not a pet peeve of mine, but this is basically it. I'm going to be honest. You could literally, you got to put a hammer in a wall. Are you going to use a Lowe's hammer or Home Depot hammer? They do the same thing. Here's the truth. SMSZach.com and REI Simply, they both use Twilio. The text is going, if you're going to SMS text blast me, I don't, the only thing that changes is the phone number. There is no difference at all. You're just getting fancy from there. It's like buying a BMW versus buying a Mercedes-Benz. Like they're both very nice. They're both will get the job done, and they'll both will drive you 5 miles to a gas station. Like seriously, they're both going to do the same exact thing. They're just one looks different than the other. Both German cars, but like honestly, like they're like buying a Camry versus a G wagon, like the same exact thing. One's going to bring you down the highway the same way. Not so. I like SMSAC.com first of all because I use them and they support our movement like crazy. So they actually lose money every time they do this. But they will give you 500 texts for $1, which is like $20 of texting for basically for free, honestly. So I always recommend that you should test SMS blasting. If you have 500 texts and it just bombs, you spend $1 and it didn't work and whatever. But if you get 500 and you get like 2 good leads, you could probably pop it up and do more. That's the way I look at it. No other service does that. So that's why I always recommend it. But it also helps. So awesome advice, vote. Awesome advice, bro. Any tips for Central Wisconsin? I think it's a good market. Obviously, like that Milwaukee urban's a little tougher, but those outskirts, man, if you get probates, code violations, water shutoffs, evictions, you can do very well, man. Great market. Do you suggest a tax deed property since I have 5,000 cash and I don't have a lot to do? $5,000, I would probably be pulling high equities and trying to cold call it and just trying to gain your skills from there. I don't want to blow that $5,000. I mean, most people pay $5,000 for a real estate wholesaling course and then have $0 in marketing, but let's not talk about that. That'll get me, that gets my blood boiling. So for a tax deed property, tax deed, I would still drive for dollars or pull a list. We appreciate it, dude. I appreciate you. Can you wholesale at owner financing? Of course, dude. Plenty of videos on doing that. I love wholesaling owner financing deals, but I like to keep them for the cash flow because like I've said before, cash flowing assets are so important. But yeah, best markets in Louisiana and how would you market in it? My favorite market in Louisiana, Lafayette, hands down. Lafayette's really good. I've seen the top wholesalers out there. Lafayette, I would probably say the best market in Louisiana. And how would I market it? I would drive for dollars and I'd also do all the government lists and probates. You guys are seeing a theme here, right? Awesome. Let's do it. I'm trying to get into virtual market. What market are you interested in? I think they're networking. Guys, you can network in the comments. Like, hey, we got guys from Facebook. We got gals from Facebook. We got people on multiple YouTube channels. We're all here for one mission and become the best real estate wholesaler possible. My goal in every single live and call I do is that before you hop on, I want you to become a better real estate wholesaler than before you left. That's truth. Hi from the UK. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I love the United Kingdom. Never been. Rick's been there before, but always looking to travel more. So just been a crazy workflow for 4 years, just trying to gain it up. So I got a lot of time and money on my hands. So maybe go travel up there. That'd be really cool. Like a England, UK, maybe go to Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland. That'd be cool to do a little tour there for wholesaling. I think people would love that, but that seems pretty cool. Let's do it. I'm trying to get into a virtual market. What market are you interested? Okay. Do I absolutely need boots on the ground to wholesale virtually? Can't I just use as much recourse possible for my seller and list it? Give me a buyer. You don't need boots on the ground, man. You don't need it. Like some guys need it, some guys don't. I think if you can get pictures, that's the only boots on the ground I would recommend. But obviously you want pictures when you're selling it to a seller. So boots on the ground is probably the best, like $40 to get it done. Is there some kind of special contract need to cancel a deal? And how does that work? Also, remember, I don't know if it matters, but I haven't sent a title yet. Okay. If you haven't sent a title yet, that's good. If you got to get out of this one, what I would say is I would email the seller in writing that you're here to cancel the contract or within your inspection period, and I hope they have a great day. Call them. I'd also send something in the mail too. So you give them every course of action, and it's just as legally as well as possible. Like you got the right legal agreement to get out of it. And then also I would probably try to leave a voicemail if you can, to just keep it documented, and then leave a text. So it's documented that you tried to cancel it. You should be fine after that. I mean, again, not a lawyer, any of that stuff, but that will help you out. Depending on your state, most states, that's way enough. I'm in Hollywood, Florida. How should I pull my first list? Hollywood is pretty good. Now, I would probably do some drawing for dollars in Broward County. I think that's probably one of the best ones still to do. Water shutoff's great. Very saturated market. Remember that. So I would say I would drive for dollars and get water shutoffs, and then probates, obviously. All right. Do you see how it says Facebook user here? You're probably in the Wholesaling Houses for Real group, which, hey, that's awesome. Thanks for hopping on the mastermind. But if you can, do me a favor. If you're on Wholesaling Houses for Real, there's a link. Allow StreamYard to use your face information so I know who I'm talking with, so I can help you guys out. But have you ever used ringless voicemail and was it successful? I have used ringless voicemail. Now I have an FBI agent probably watching this like, oh, you're using ringless voicemail in Florida. Oh, I did this like 3 years ago, guys, before it basically became outlawed in Florida. So if you're in Florida right now, no ringless voicemail. I do not recommend it. Do not do ringless voicemail. Do not drop voicemails into someone's mail on their phone. Don't do it. Outside of Florida, it's an illegal gray area. Is it part of the Telephone Communications Protections Act of 1991? Does it follow it? Does it not? It's a gray area. I would say if you're outside of Florida and you do ringless voicemail, you should do fairly successful with it. We've been successful when we did it back in the day. Don't recommend it now. You should not be doing it in the state of Florida. Tim says, do you invest in apartments? No, a lot of single family rentals, stocks, things like that. Like I spread my assets everywhere. Plenty of assets everywhere that will produce cash flow for me. Some that don't produce cash flow, like cryptocurrency, stuff like that. But like that's not how you make money. The real money is in wholesaling real estate. But most of the money is in real estate that I have, and then just other companies I own and then operate. But my most valuable asset is myself and then my business. But no, don't really do much apartments. We do multifamilies too for rentals, lease options, sub twos, but not really. Let's see, trying to get my first deal in Miami. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All righty. Oops, where are we? Oh my gosh, we got a lot of comments. Sweet. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Zach. Your authenticity is noticed and appreciated. Thank you so much. You're an inspiration, man. What would you personally take a wholesale fee here? All right. Property contract 180, rehab 85K. Okay. All right. So basically, I'll do the math with you guys because I like math. I'm a math dude. So in this certain example, what I would do here is ARV is 400K. This is the formula I do. So ARV 400K. I don't have a fancy, like I bought this phone probably when it was newer just because it had a 4K camera and I had no camera. So I was taking pictures of wholesaling deals. So this is a stupid purchase, this iPhone. But this is like 2.5 years old, but now you can get there. So 400K, but I'll have this phone for like 5 years. I don't need the new ones. So 400K. So also the screen protector's cracked. I get a new screen protector on there. But I would assume your cash buyer will pay 15% off the market value. 400K. So let's do 9. They want 10% off. So 360K actually repairs. Oh, 85. Okay. 400K minus 85,000, 315 minus 90%. You're getting a 10% discount. This is what the property's worth. You're telling me right now, if you get under contract for 180, you'll make 103K. Seems like your ARV might be off. Most people's ARVs are extremely like high. So, I mean, if the numbers you're telling me real, then it's good. Most likely your ARV is kind of off. I don't think you're going to make 103,000. I want you to make $103,000 on this. Nothing will bring me more happiness today than to know you made $103,000 on your first deal. Your ARV is probably a little high. The way you should do the ARV is find out how much they're getting in rent, since this was a multifamily deal. If they're getting $3,000 a month in rent, most likely the ARV, following the cash flow comp 1% rule, you divide 3,000 by 1%, that is equal to a $300,000 ARV cash comp. That's my opinion. That's what I'm thinking. But let me know what the cash flow is on that thing, and I could be wrong. Trust me. If you're making 103, dude, I am please. I hope I am wrong. I hope this ARV is $1 million. But that's my personal opinion. But wishing you the best. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is there an alternate to driving for dollars? I'm tight on time, but I want to maximize my time. Okay. Be pulling probates, code violations. I might start pulling high equity if you run out of stuff, and then cold call that. Tax delinquents. I, I mean, you could. I mean, you could get a pre foreclosures, but I mean, it's a tougher ask for cold calling. So probably an alternate driving for dollars would probably be dealing with probates. Bronx, sweet, super city life. Hey, everyone loves the city. You could virtually wholesale. Like I can move to Bronx tomorrow and still virtually wholesale the way we're doing here in Florida. So, great city. I've been in the Bronx once. I'm in New York City. I've been in all the boroughs, but I've been in the Bronx once. How do you search for unsaturated markets? I personally, it's basically a ratio. It's how many deals are out there versus how many wholesalers. If there's a lot of deals, there's probably a lot of wholesalers, like Houston, Texas. There's an insane amount of deals out there. Probably the most deals in the country are in Houston, Texas, in my personal opinion. Phoenix is a close second. The issue with that is Houston is the third largest populated city in the whole entire country. So there's a lot of competition there. So I would say if you want to search for unsaturated markets, it's hard to find. The highest percentage of you finding one would be in the Southeast, in the South, basically any of that cultural area in the South, including Florida. But that's probably where I'd start looking. And then basically a lot of those metros are pretty good. That's my personal opinion. This is not saying there's markets in Michigan that are absolutely amazing in Ohio. But I would say if you're looking for unsaturated, stick to the South or the Southeast. Generally, that's probably where lower price points there, so you do well. 20K, assuming the tenants trash the property. Seller told me electrical done, HVAC good, kitchen new, paint cabinets, original hardwood floors, mostly cosmetics needed to the property. Okay. I would say from there, it should do well. But yeah, that seems like a deal to me, man. I have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 730 square feet. I'm looking for an offer. It's a hot market in Nashville, but it doesn't have any nearby comps. Everything else in the area, three. Okay. I know the repair costs. Need help with ARV. I don't want you to give me address because there's a lot of people watching this live right now. So I probably don't want to give that up. Let me know what the 3 ones are going for with similar square feet. And also, what's the cash flow you think? How much do you think that thing will rent for? And then we do cash flow comp, divide that by 1%. Got a pretty good comp. Oh, yeah. Sweet. Can you wholesale an owner finance market? Of course, in a bad market, you could wholesale deals all day. Rick's been doing this since 2004. Like, to the crash, we did fine. So, like, he did fine. Like, I was, 9 years old? But in my opinion, it's probably, you can wholesale in any market. Me, again, looking to start anywhere in Louisiana. I was meaning to ask how to invest in softwares or VAs to minimize the amount of time I have to spending my first deal. Texting's really good. You can get a VA actually qualifying and do all the work for you. So I would actually do a big text blasting list also with high equity. Skip chase that on smszack.com and then start texting on smszack.com. That's probably one of the best ones to do in my personal opinion. So I would say do that. That's one of my favorites to do. And then get a VA to actually send the text out and actually qualify the text out for you. Once you kind of get a good grip on it, and then you can actually have VAs actually set appointments for you, so they do most of the grunt work for you. That's probably what I would do if you want to get your first wholesaling deal. How do you convince the seller for a key or use a lockbox to show the property to your investors doing due diligence? What I would say is, hey, my partners want to go buy the property, look at it. Your partner's your cash buyer because aren't you guys collaborating on the deal? Like, you get paid, they get a good discounted property. They're your partners, right? And say, he wants to go up, but I don't know what time. Is it okay if we put a lockbox on the property? He's a trusted partner. Simple as that. Make sure your cash buyer is trusted, but don't lie to your seller, but they are a partner. So where do you wholesale in? Port St. Lucie, Florida. Thank you for this. You're the GOAT. Dude, you guys are the GOAT for providing me like someone to talk to on these lives. Like, if I had no one subscribed to me, like who'd I be, like what kind of questions would I be answering on here? So like, your support, guys, means everything to me. From the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. Virtual, Tennessee mainly, great market. Can you wholesale and owner finance? Of course you can, man. Just get a cash buyer that understands owner financing or teach it to them, and you could make 4 to 5K on them. They're great. What's your best list? What's the best list you like to pull? Obviously, probates. Everyone's going to hear me say probates a million times. Probate's one of my favorite lists to pull. But if I actually had to go to listrei.com and do it, my personal opinion would be high equity. If you're doing very large volume, tax delinquency is really good. I would say vacant list right now. With high equity, vacant list, probably one of the best ones to pull. How do I find the value of land? How do I find the value of land without a mobile home on it? I want to offer land minus 5K for its removal. Do you use tax assessed value from listrei.com? So listrei.com. No, wrong one. All right. In my opinion, the value of land means nothing. Again, when you're selling a product or service, it's not how much the thing's worth because value is very arbitrary. In 2006, I think an acre of land in Port St. Lucie was like $30,000. In 2008, 2009, it was worth like 10. Did the acreage change? Did the soil composition change? No, just the arbitrary supply and demand of it changed. So that being said, the value of your land is what a cash buyer for land is willing to pay for it. That is what the thing is worth. Now, if one cash buyer says he's going to pay 30K on it, it's not means the value of it's 30K. But if you talk to 10 cash buyers for land and they all tell you it's like worth 28, 30, 34, you have a general idea of what the land is. So that being said, just raw land, I would ask my builders how much they're looking to buy properties in the 22222 area code, quarter acre that's looking, you can put a mobile home on it and just ask them. If they tell me I'm paying this, what they do, they say, Zach, I'll pay you $25,000 for a quarter acre lot of land. Okay, great. I talk to a seller, lock it up for 5, sell it for 25, sell it and then make like 15, 20K, depending on, they do 25, like some land's worth more than others, but they generally pay 25. I lock up for 5 and make 20K in the assignment deal on that raw piece of land. That can be your first wholesale deal. Your first wholesaling real estate deal, guys, doesn't have to be a single family property. It could be a mobile home. It could literally just be a raw piece of land. I know guys that have got their first wholesaling deals on raw pieces of land. So in my personal opinion, I truly believe that the 5K, so if someone's going to pay 25, got to pay 5 off, that's 20. That's what I do. Tax assessed is not my favorite from List REI with land. Land comps aren't the best. I usually just go off of what the builder or cash buyers would pay for it. You go to listrei.com and pull cash sales in your area. That's probably one of the best ones to do from there. Cash sales on vacant land, one of the best ones out there. So that's my personal opinion. Let's see. Have you open on Facebook and YouTube right now? Thank you so much, Freddie. You are the absolute GOAT, man. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, landlord looking to liquidate 5+ properties. Oh, okay. Tough situation because he's a terrible landlord, but he knows I'm his best option. I feel you there. Help them out in the situation. That's probably what I'd recommend. How many SMSs on average to get your first deal? I would say over 3, but under 10. Why do people think it's hard to get a deal? I just fished off. But yeah, in my personal opinion there, depends on the list. If I'm text blasting a driving for dollars list, it'd be completely different than actually texting like a high equity one. So it's really dependent on the numbers there. At what point would you switch to texting when starting out? Let's say when you're starting out in real estate wholesaling, I would probably get off I would get cold calling first and then texting from there. Then I'll cold call list and then text a list. That's kind of where I'm coming from right now. That's my personal opinion. Let's just make sure that our live's all good here. Alrighty. So it looks like we're good. LOL. What's up? Have you ever approached assisted living facilities, retirement homes in order to assist them in liquidating their clients' real estate in order to pay for the rents in the facility? No, I stay away from that. Rick will be on here shortly. He can take his opinion on it. I stay away from that. I'm just not the expert on it. Like if I don't understand it, I'm not going to tell you. But Rick's probably looked into that because he's been in real estate for quite a while. So he'll let you know. when is the virtual market dropping, man? Everyone's waiting, dude. April 19th. That's when the things, that is when the things are going to be popping up here. Yeah. So that's my personal opinion. Zach, do you have a lot of girlfriends being a young millionaire now? No comment. Do I absolutely need boots on the ground to wholesale virtually? Can't I just use as much recourse as possible from my seller and list it to get me a buyer? Yes, you don't. But again, the cash buyer will probably be best. I mean, the boots on the ground probably be best to take pictures. So that's my personal opinion on there. So keep up the questions, guys. I think Rick popped in, so we'll see him hop on here really quick, and then he's probably be taking over this live because he's got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. But let's see if he wants to hop on here. Let me add the gain up on here. You grab a chair. Looks like Rick has joined. So got double trouble for a little, and then I'll hop off, and then we'll go from here. But we just got to move this microphone back. So let me move here, and then we'll just move it back here. So first question. Oh, say hi.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
All right, cool. So guys, actually, first question for Rick is this one. So have you ever dealt with this like retirement facility type thing?
Let's see here. Have you ever approached assisted living facilities, aka retirement homes, in order to assist them in liquidating the client's real estate in order to pay for rents at the facility? So I was taught this technique a long time ago, and
That's what I thought.
Yeah, used to be able to go and sit down with the director. And if you guys haven't had personal experience in this is how it works. When somebody goes into like a nursing facility, 9 times out of 10, their only asset left is usually their home. And 9 times out of 10, it's free and clear. And a lot of times these people don't have representation, and what they do to get taken care of, because it's very expensive, up to like $10,000 a month, is they sign over the property to the care facility, and then they're in charge of liquidating the property. So in the perfect world, they would sell it to you, a wholesaler, and get their cash quick so they could provide services to the family members. With the change of privacy and especially HIPAA laws and stuff, it's really hard to do now. So I would probably advise against that strategy. You're probably better off. So here's a little trick that still works to this date. Actually, Zach doesn't even know about it that much. Some old school tactics that still work today. That is the right theory. You're on the right path with it. The problem with privacy laws and HIPAA and stuff like that, and elderly law, it's challenging. So another way to do it is people do that same process when they have to get bonded out for jail. Like, hear me out again. So what you would be better off doing is targeting is bail bondsmen. So if someone has a significant bail to put up, bail is just a bond you put up with the court that ensures that you come back to court. So if you have a $500,000 bail, which would be high, they've got to usually pay 10% of it, which would be $50,000. Most people don't have $50,000. What do? They put up mom or dad's house for collateral on it. And what happens if they don't show up to court or they can't pay that $50,000 fee? The bail bondsman wants to liquidate the house. You would be blown away on how much real estate a good bail bondsman owns. So look up your local bail bondsmen, talk to them, find out the name that they buy in, and find out if they buy properties. But that would be the path of least resistance, in my opinion. So it still happens today. When people go to jail all the time, someone's got to come up with $10,000. They put a lien on the house, and they get like 6 months to pay it. After that, they have to liquidate the house. So you're on the right track, Lo. I would just stay away from elderly law. There's too many laws to protect you, and it's probably not going to work out well. But good question. So find a bail bondsman, just replace it. Sound good? You got some other good questions on here?
Let me pop up, see if there's any from me really quick.
If you guys got any dark questions about Zach, I'll answer them.
Great. Let me see if there are any questions for me, and then from there, I'm going to go I'll hop off here. So, hi, Zach. Nice haircut. When you are wholesaling, do you use an agent or selling on your own? Rick owns a real estate brokerage. So basically from there, we basically have a realtor sell it because that's how we get the most amount of money possible. Like it's cool to sell something on your own, like some of these properties, but like if you got 4 or 5 of them, I ain't gonna sell them by myself or have a dispo person because you got to pay a dispo person. Got a realtor.
Yeah. So a realtor can be a built-in dispo person. And you guys that think you have to pay 6%, you don't have to. A lot of them will list it. So you usually have to pay the buyer's agent. On a lot of ours, we instead of paying 3 or 4%, we'll pay as low as 2. I've seen in some markets you pay 1. There's no rules written. It's just an assumption. So break the rules. If you have a really hot market and you got a great property, you can basically offer. I'll probably get in trouble if my agents hear this. I've seen them offered at low as like 1%. What would you pay your own dispo guy to do it?
Okay, it's true. We're not gonna do 1%, but don't get in trouble here. What's up, Rick and Zach? Do you know anything about reverse mortgages? Honestly, I'm gonna have Rick talk about that because I avoid it like the plague.
So a reverse mortgage is typically got to be taken on somebody who owns a home free and clear. And once again, this is going to be the elder. I will tell you, they are difficult, they are predatory, and they're 9 times out of 10, they're a really bad deal for the family. So most families take it when they're stuck, and so if the person has no more cash coming in and they got to pay bills, reverse mortgage. So say the house is worth 200,000, and what they'll do is give them a reverse mortgage. You think they just give you like, hey, we'll give you 100,000 and you've got like 3 years to pay it off. No, what they'll do is give you like $2,500 a month. And then what they do is they keep building the negative equity into it. And the banks are smart. They're only going to do it up to a certain point. And what happens is usually the person passes away and then the family has to deal with it. Reverse mortgages usually state you have 1 year from the time of death to cash it out, or they'll start to foreclose. The problem with reverse mortgages, there's a bunch of BS fees they add on there. And what you thought was a $50,000 lien against a property winds up sometimes being 90 or 100,000. And the banks are very slow because think about it. How they maximize their return on it is by getting the payoff higher and higher. So in that 1 year, you decide not to pay it, all sorts of penalty fees, interest accrues, and then if you're really lucky, they throw on attorney's fees. So if you're dealing with trying to buy a property in with a reverse mortgage lien on it, make sure you get a good title company, possibly a lawyer, and try to cash it out sooner than later. The only benefit to a reverse mortgage, if there's equity left in it and get a payoff statement from the title company, is you have time. So if you want to bring in buyers and try to do a simultaneous close or do like a cash buyer on assignment, you can get away with it. But like, trust me, it ain't for free. It's definitely costing your money.
Definitely. All right. Really quick, some questions for me. I'll go through. Zach, I've text blasted so many lists and still have nothing. What other ways to generate leads other than driving for dollars? Probates, code violations, the actual fire list. You can get on Facebook. I have videos. Do fire space flip with Rick. Pop it on there. Those are great ones to do. How many text or mailers do you send out a day? Texts, we like to be over a 15 to 2,000, but like that's 5 days a week. And then mailers is like daily. I can't tell you. Monthly, it's in the 5 figures. The amount of mailers that we're doing. So let's see. The base one, good. Yes. Yeah, that should be fine. Come to Australia. Rick wants to go fishing over there.
I'd love to go to Australia. Tell me what part. And I would love to know about like real estate in Australia. I heard it's expensive, so I met a few people from there.
Oh yeah. How many wholesale deals do you do a month? It's an arbitrary number because we do a lot of JVs and really like tiny virtual ones. The more important question is how much revenue you do per month. Is over 7 figures in profits, not revenue, profits. Very important to say that. But a lot of our wholesale deals that we do wholesale them. So we turn these $30,000 ones into $40,000 ones just by putting on the market and spending an extra grand or two. So I think that's the only one like I really have to answer here. Rick's got some really
It's
good ones.
quality over quantity. Do you want to do 10 deals at $2,000 a pop, or would you rather do 2 deals and make 40K a pop? So don't let people mislead you. Like the number of deals means it's a lot of busy work. And in our experience, would you agree, Zach? The smaller the profit, the more work you're going to do for it.
Boom.
Did you hear that? The smaller the profit, the more work and drama you're going to put up with on a deal. So keep that in mind. When deals get really tight and our acquisition guys or gals and struggling, I just say move on to the next one, man. Like it's you're going to spend 70 hours trying to close that person. You can spend 10 hours on the next one and make 40 or 50 grand.
Boom. All right. So just start from the top here and then just work your way below. And then see if I can find this here. Hold on.
Okay, guys, be easy on me here.
Go hard. All right.
We're not doing a 5-hour marathon either.
No, but get as many as done. And we'll get going. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Okay. See you. Use this chair. I got it. Oh yeah. Boy, this is nice. Okay. Let me try to get this thing. Okay, guys. So we got like a half hour. So let's answer as many questions as we can. So the only dumb question you ask is the one you don't ask. So so let's see here. Okay, Storm, I don't know if this was answered or not, but I'm just going to try to pick up where Zach left off. For those of you who don't know, I am Rick with Flip with Rick, aka Dad. So I've been doing this since 2003. So yes, is the base plan on batch leads good for starting out? Yeah, I'm pretty sure with it. Check on Zach's videos on the batch lead stuff, and he'll give you the exact answer to that. To be honest with you, I just oversee it, but Zach does the operations on that. So I want to give you accurate answers on it, but reach out to Zach and he'll be happy to answer that for you. Okay, here. Ravelog asks, can you name all the states that you should avoid wholesale or the states that you aren't allowed to so you can scratch them off my virtual markets list? Of the 50 states, you know what? You need exact answers. So I don't know for sure because I'm not a lawyer. I know Ohio's been cracking down. I know Oklahoma's talking about it. There's some restrictions in Texas, but I do deals in Texas. So you can get an exact answer. What you want to do is you're not going to do all 50 states. So you're probably going to target like 1 or 2 areas right off the bat. Don't try to do 10 markets at once. You've got to become a master at virtual marketing. It takes time to get a virtual market set up because you don't have the experience there. So just make sure it's legal. If you have any questions, reach out, try to make a connection. Start with a title company, and they'll be the first ones to tell you for free. And then you can involve a local real estate attorney. But just pick the states you want to do, and don't try to figure out like all 50 states. I don't know because I've never tried to do it in all 50 states. So Isaiah asks, Zach, I've text blasted so many lists and had nothing. What's another way to generate leads? So let me tell you this. Whenever you do a campaign, I don't care if it's texting, voicemail drops, cold calling, direct mail, the key to any market is consistency. Anytime you try a one stop and shop. So Isaiah, if you could expand on how many texts you've sent out over that, how much time. Like I do probates, and sometimes I go 2 or 3 months without a freaking lead, and eventually it always turns my corner. You know why? Because I've been consistently doing it since 2013, 14. Everybody, I rely on investors trying to compete with me, and they try it for a month or two and they go, hey, it doesn't work. And they quit. You're right. If you quit, I promise you it won't work. So what you have to look is how much money you're spending, how much effort you're doing it, and you have to look at your KPIs that you're measuring up against. The problem is a lot of you guys are going on the internet, you're going on forums, and you're letting people that you have no idea of their success level if they're actually making it or not. Every technique we teach you on here, Flip with Rick, we've made money on. We currently make money on it. We do it. Is texting getting harder? Absolutely. Is cold calling getting harder? Absolutely. Is RVM being outlawed in a lot of places? Absolutely. But we innovate, we move forward. So let's talk about some ideas that you can do. The good old driving $4 works. So like in Florida, we look for blue tarps, high weeds. An easier way to do it is go get the code violations list and pursue those leads with extreme aggression. I mean, extreme aggression, call, text, mail, drive by, knock on doors, do whatever you got to do. So a lot of people are chasing them. Whoever can do it consistently and survive and be persistent is going to make the difference. So driving for dollars, you can go out and collect a couple hundred addresses. After you do that consistently, you'll find out how many, if you need 200 leads just to get one contract, you'll know exactly how much driving for dollars you have to use. Reach out, work with bird dogs, partners, see if RVM is legal in your state. It's endless, but please, if you're going to give up on texting, make sure you've given it its full shot. Sometimes certain lead sources, they just become too cost prohibitive. A lot of people rag on direct mail. I've been doing direct mail since 2003. I'm so confident I know exactly what I spend. Now, I've been doing this a long time. I can do a lot of direct mail. I don't advise you starting out there, but I've spent 15, 20 grand on direct mail now because I know exactly what me and my team can turn it into. Do I have bad months in direct mail? Absolutely. The truth is most real estate investors will just tell you about their wins, kind of the Facebook shining moment. We have bad months, but if I do it 12 months out of the year and I have 2 bad months and I have 10 really good months, guess what prevails? I will always focus on the 10 months. So Isaiah, expand on how much money and time you've put in it and the energy level, and then make a decision, a business decision. So I never do a marketing channel without giving it at least 1 quarter, which is 3 months. So hopefully that helps. Can you wholesale? Joseph asks, can you wholesale properties in Brooklyn, New York? I don't know the accurate answer to that. So we have plenty of sources of investors that work in that area. So I'm assuming you can, but I'm not a lawyer. So just find out for sure. And guys, if you want to help, if somebody put a comment in there, if you're wholesaling, I assume if you can wholesale New York, I do know it requires an attorney to close on it. That's all I know. So, okay. So some of these were answered. I apologize. Let's see. Okay. So Zach, I network with someone just starting out, and she says she already has a seller wanting to sell a mobile home for $10K. What do you think about mobile homes? They are a gold mine. So I own 3 of them. I love them, and I just started doing it. You know why? Because it's the new affordable living. So, Jeremy, all you need to do is find out what they're renting for and what kind of repairs it needs. But say you bought one for $10K and say it rented out for like 500, which would be brutally cheap. We just bought one. I think we paid $30K with seller financing. We put about $5K into it and we're renting it for $1,000 a month. You know what kind of return on the money is? It's insane. I can't even, that's even hard to get in like regular houses. So go for it, Jeremy. That's a good deal. Move fast and bring your partner in on the deal. So hopefully, let's see here. How does the deposit work when working with realtors? Supposed to come from the cash buyer. How do the deposits work when working with realtors? Is it supposed to come from the cash buyer if you're closing within the inspection period? Yeah, the deposit's always going to come from the buyer. And by the way, guys, that's all spelled out on the contract. You decide when. So a lot of times you can hold off on leaving the deposit until it passes inspection. You can do it within 48 hours, 72 hours. It doesn't matter. The deposit can be as little $100 if you guys agree to it. Although most realtors will not allow for that. So I gotta shave. Titans win the Super Bowl this year. No, you got our old quarterback, so maybe you should. Okay, so I know. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to skip the ones where I know Zach walked out the room. Okay, let's see here. Thanks. Had a key lead rep, a batch rep, and sub 2 rep run comps for me. I'd be happy to share the private address. Okay, so you're working with Zach on that. Okay, here we go. 360 asks, how do you know the percentage to multiply ARV by for the market you're working in? Is this the 75% norm? Guys, don't overthink this. Whoever came up with this 70% rule is, I mean, back then they just came up with a general formula. Here's the ticket. If you can buy a property low enough and sell it for a profit and minimize your risk, do it. I don't care if it's 30% or 95%. I bought properties at 90, 95 cents on the dollar. I already have buyers built in for it. So I'll give you an example. If I buy a property for 150 grand, it doesn't meet my snuff test, meaning I wouldn't close on it. I wouldn't wholesale it. I wouldn't even keep it as a rental. But I have a cash buyer lined up for 160 or 165, and I can slide them in on an assignment. If I stuck to that 70% rule, I wouldn't do that deal. But I have enough experience to know I can do it. So there's some generalizations. Honestly, if you buy it 70 cents on the dollar, but really, you have too many variables here. What is ARV? Everybody comes up with a random number. It stands for after repaired actual or after repaired value. And then really what comes down to the repairs on it. So don't get stuck on the number. Find out what those properties are selling for in your market. And do you have cash buyers lined up for it? And that will give you room to work the number. In today's brutally tight market, 70% is hard. Like it's doable. We do them, but like they're not the norm anymore. So even buying something 75, 80 cents on the dollar, even 85, I told you I've gone as high to 95 if I have a qualified buyer that's ready to pull the trigger. Why not make money? Okay, let's see here. Denny, I'm virtually wholesaling in Michigan. How long would it take you to cold call a list before you start texting the list? Completely up to you. So look at it like McDonald's or Burger King. Some people like a Big Mac. Some people like a Whopper. It doesn't really matter. They're both disruptive types of marketing. So just hit it. And what I do is just flip-flop them. So what we do a lot on our list, we put them through cold calling, texting, and then we eventually drip them all into direct mail and we weed them out as we go through it. So hopefully that helps you out. Okay, let's see here. So Flip asking, how do you personally estimate repair costs? So I have a lot of experience in it and I teach my people, but what you'll do is find out the price point you're buying at and look at your biggest repair items. Roof, right? Roof is always it. And then it always comes down to a kitchen remodel or to update a kitchen and bathrooms. What you can do if you're always buying houses in the $100,000 range in that area, you can come up with a pretty good estimate. The problem is when you go to a $300,000, the estimates go way out of whack. So in my area right now, the average kitchen with appliances, and I'm talking about like lower end stuff, is around 20 grand. Remember, the appliances, the stove, dishwasher, everything you got to add in that number. It adds paint. We're talking about counters, flooring, is 20 grand. So my guys know anything within 200,000 or less is 20 grand. So if you want to estimate it, I can assume a house like that, 10% goes towards the kitchen. And you can come up with some basic parameters like that. And bathrooms usually run about a half to a quarter of that. The most we ever spent on a bathroom is like 10 to 15 on a master bath, and then like a guest bath, maybe 3 to 5. After that, you can figure out like flooring. To do the flooring in the house, depends on the type of quality you want. If you want to do carpeting, I can tell you right this: the average room is $400 to $500 for a basic builder grade carpet, and that's a 10 by 12 room, and that pretty much holds across the United States. Nothing fancy, guys. And then as far as painting inside and outside, on an average property, 1,500 to 1,800 square foot to do an inside and outside paint job. Remember, the inside always costs more because there's more detail in it and it's a slower process. usually 4 to 5 grand. So you don't have to be exact about it, but you want to build it in your numbers so you come up with accurate numbers. So hopefully that helps you out. I'm not going to comp a property because I'm a lot slower than Zach on this. And just message Ray, just message Zach and he'll do it for you, because I'm scared I'll get out of the screen and I won't be able to get out of it. So remember, I'm dad and he's better with the technology. So throw ass. I literally just skip traced a pre-foreclosure. Why are they so hard to cold call? Because of the saturation? Well, they're not hard to cold call. It means you're probably meaning they're hard to reach. Think about it. Dude, if you're in denial and you're getting ready to lose your house to a court action, you're probably going to avoid every phone call you humanly can. So a couple tricks to it is switch your phone numbers up, get some virtual phone numbers, call from another number. And then the old school way is go by and leave an urgent package at the door. Or if you got the guts, go up and knock on the door, make sure it's legal in your neighborhood and make sure it's safe. So if it was just as easy as calling on them, we'd all be doing a ton of deals. So back in the day, I used to door knock on foreclosures, how I got one of my first deals. So, but it's the ability to reach it. They don't want to talk to you is the truth. You just got to find a way to connect with them. So, and keep in mind, a lot of the pre-foreclosures, the reason they're walking away from the property because there's little to no equity in it. So just make sure you're not chasing a ghost. Okay. Guys, let's keep going about like another 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up. Okay. What's up, Grant? I think I spoke to you last week. So you guys know Zach a lot better than I do. So I got to catch up here. Okay, says, got my first deal and second deal in escrow. Will be closing and cash flowing 2 to 3K net to month. How do you utilize these funds? Well, first of all, Grant, it's your money and awesome job on getting the deals. What you want to do is educate yourself on the highest and best use of the money. So first and foremost, make sure your family's taken care of. Make sure you're taken care of. Make sure there's food on the table. Don't go out and buy crazy stuff. So Zach's ultra conservative. He always wants to buy assets that are going to pay him in the future, because I taught him, I bought all that crap really from 18 to really in my 30s. And I'm teaching Zach to get way ahead of the game. So 2 to 3K, what I would do, once you take care of your family, I would set money aside for a rainy day. And whatever you're spending on marketing, I would spend more money doing it. And that's the key with this stuff. As you grow, you can add marketing channels that will actually feed you deals. I spend X amount a month on marketing, but I have a whole staff. We work through it. This took me years to build up. So I don't care. So hire someone to do driving for dollars. Get a VA or someone or it doesn't have to be VA, just get somebody virtually to help you like cold call and rip through leads as much as you can. And so even if you took like 500 a month towards that, if that 500 turns into another 10, 15K, that's great. Too many people go, oh, $500. Like that's expensive. I go, listen, I constantly spend 10 grand to make 70 or 80 grand. So my typical ROI on most of my marketing is 7 to 8 times return on my investment. So I want to spend the money. So the question, Grant, if you took $1,000 on that and you found the marketing channel that you are most confident in and you really put some laser focus on it, can you turn that 1,000 into like 7 or 8,000? Because once you do that and you figure that out, this stuff gets crazy, man. So Zach just posted, we did a deal, 6 figures, all off of marketing channel that I consistently do. And I've done it since the day I started with it. I'm just really good at it. So awesome job, Grant. Keep it going. Keep sharing the stories. I love it. Okay. Uh-oh. It's Junior Bro. I need someone to kick me in the butt. Well, bend your butt over it and I'll kick it right now. I've been saying I was going to start since October last year. And I still haven't made my first cold call. So you just proved the point. So most people let a $10,000 coaching fee stand in between them and their success. So I've removed that excuse for you. So it's all mental. You got to make a decision to do something. By you not doing anything, you're not getting any further ahead and you're just spending time on the internet. So Here's the deal. Get started, do something now. I see your handle. I've seen it on here before. Take action, do something now. I don't care if you have to door knock, you have to cold call. Do something that's going to make you so brutally uncomfortable and get started. You sitting here reading, talking to me on the internet's not going to get you any further. You know it's not money standing in your way. So get rid of your excuses. Dude, you are 12 months, you're 6 months away from completely changing your life. Don't let another day slip away. So get off your butt and get it done. Hopefully that helps you out. All right. I got Darkman X. I'm trying to wholesale in Massachusetts. I've only been there once, a couple of years ago. Been almost 8 months. Me and my girlfriend been at cold calling. We're not going to, but I'm really feeling discouraged and feel like hanging up. So, guys, let me remind you this. You are no different than what I went through. So, I guarantee you this. The struggle will be there. I guarantee you get into wholesaling. And guys, you can do this anything in life. I guarantee you're going to struggle. It's going to come with it. The success is what is optional. So everyone's going to struggle. So the question is, do you just want to struggle for 8 months and give up? It's easy. It's the easy way out. And so what you need to do, I hate calling you dark man because I know it's just a code word, is find out so 8 months is enough data to find out cold calling is not working. So number one, look at your list that you're doing it with. Okay. Maybe you got the wrong list. So if you want to share some information with us, maybe we can help you out with your list. I think your lists are off. I try to find offline lists, code violations, utilities shut off, tax delinquencies. I would step it up too. And some of these like really good leads, you got to go and like leave notes on the door, knock on the doors and talk to people. This business is nothing to do with real estate. It's about connecting with people. Don't get me wrong. The real estate's the asset, but you're connecting with people. Darkman. So what I would do is I would take an entire day. Do not cold call tomorrow. Tomorrow's Good Friday. It's a great restart day for most people. And 8 months is enough. You got to like shift course here because either you're a really bad cold caller or you have a really bad list or it's both. It's no big deal. I hate cold calling. I won't do it. So I give you all the props in the world for doing it, but like shift. So maybe it's SMS that's going to work with you. Maybe a little bit of door knocking, maybe like just a good old fashioned like networking, but like it's not that hard. And so like if you've made 150,000 cold calls and you haven't gotten anywhere, understanding something you're doing is not working and you have to adjust. Most people, I'll give it to you, they quit after a week or two of cold calling. So if you're doing it 8 months and you just quit, you're thinking about quitting, let's just redirect it. Cause dude, you got some guts to sit there and do it. I'll give it to you. Zach did it and he punched it out. Is it more challenging now? Yes, it is. And by the way, up in Massachusetts, you guys have some amazing multifamily properties up there. I work with a very, very big time investor up there. I'm not going to share his name because he's very private. You'd be blown away with their operations. Now, he does a lot of direct mail. So what you can do is you can simply do like simple like postcards and handwrite them yourself. I actually came up with a system for doing that, but I actually offer it for free. And I told Zach, I will put it up on like Flip with Rick. So all you have to do is have a home printer and do something like that. But like, even if you printed a couple hundred cards and just like have a really good message on it. And I tell you what, I'll put it on the website and share it with all you guys. And I used to charge for it. I'll give it away for free. Probably get in trouble with it because I have a producing deal, but I don't care. I want to help you out, man. Darkman, don't give up. Keep fighting. Struggle's real. The success is up to you. Okay, you can't guard Mike, so I bet I can guard you, Mike. Now you're probably quicker than me, so I can't guard Zach anymore. So I don't know why I think I can guard you. I like the name of cities. Tennessee cities are a build market. How do you go about calculating an offer for a teardown? Real simple, guys. I don't want you to get into the mode of like trying to like become a contractor and figure out. All you need is data. So look at what they're buying these properties for. Look at them vacant and look at the ones that need tear down and just do a calculation to see what the end market's paying and figure out what the difference is. Most of the times when you're contracting a tear down, I assume you're talking about residential. Commercial can get a little complicated. You have a lot of flexibility in the deal. Most of them have, if I'm going to buy a property for a tear down, I'm going to build in probably a 30 to 90 day inspection period to make sure I can do everything I want to do. And that's the time you try to price it out and figure it out. But remember, the data is going to tell you what it sells for. And you can talk to local contractors, and you'll also have to check with the city to make sure you can knock it down, and then you can price it accordingly. So I hope that helps you out. I've done a few knockdowns. Not as easy as they sound sometimes. 360 asks, do you deal with wholesaling lots like doing administrative lot splits, zoning, etc.? Also, can you define probate? Okay, so I'm going to speed this up here. Do you deal with wholesaling lots and like splitting them? Absolutely. Zoning. Guys, if I ever have a zoning question, I just pick up the phone and I call my local county official. And I ask them if I want to, can I redistrict this? Can I rezone it? Can I split it up? Can I split this into 4 lots? And they tell me what the process is. There's usually fees and an application process. And I figure out if I have enough time to get that done. Probate. Probate's simply the, probate's when a person passes away and they own an asset in their name and you cannot transfer that asset because the person's passed away because they can't sign the deed. So probate is a formal process that the court system puts in place to make sure the deceased's wishes are carried out according to the will. If there's not a will, they have hearings. They determine the personal representative, which is usually all spelled out in a will. And then they're in charge of either taking over the house or selling the house. So basically making sure the loved one's wishes are granted because they're not alive to voice it. Usually there's a will. When there's not a will, the court steps in and appoints everybody in it. So awesome. I appreciate it. Good question. All right. So Mike asked again, how do you decide a badly distressed property should be renovated or tore down? Honestly, a lot of times, if you're talking about single family, you should be able to eyeball it. If you couldn't live in it or it cost you like more than $50,000 or $100,000 to fix it, it's like if you've ever rehabbed a whole car, they will tell you it's easier just to go to a dealership and buy a brand new one. So like taking like right now, like some of the hot muscle cars from the 60s, the cost, you could buy a car 10, 15 grand off the internet and you like think you're making a killing and find out it's going to cost you $75,000 to rehab that car with a specialist, when you can go to one of these online auctions, get an authenticated car from one of these really cool auction houses, and you can buy it for $55,000. And you have to walk through that exact same process, Mike, that I just walked you through there. Sometimes it's easier to start over. The market will usually dictate it because people are like, oh, I'll just build a brand new house there. You see this a lot on waterfront properties. So, okay, I think we went over there. So, Jonathan, I see your questions posted twice here. How does the deposit work when working with realtors? Is it supposed to come from the cash buyer? Yes. When you leave the deposit, sometimes like in my market, they demand it all up front with the contract. So we used to be able to wait 3 to 10 up to business days to put in the deposit. But like when you have a tight market like this, realtors don't want to hear that. So just be aware of that. So, but work with the realtor. They'll tell you what to do. All right. Okay, guys. I got 10 minutes. So all right, I got a new one here. All right. Long live Simba. Love it. I feel very confident I can get somebody all in on a property for including potential rehab cost for 100K. Give the buyer a nice 50 to 60K flip. Yeah, why not? That's not a question. I think it's more of a statement. So I like that Long Live Simba is feeling very confident. And guys, it's probably the biggest difference maker is just getting your confidence level and getting it going. So if you're struggling, you've tried something for 8 months, I got to talk to the one before, we just need to redirect your effort. Sometimes it's just a slight shift and we can fix it. So, okay. Okay, I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I did some of these questions twice, so I apologize. Okay. Here's one. Okay, cool. Okay. Blair, what's up, Blair? How you doing, man? How do you feel about driving for dollars in 2021? It worked in 2003. It works in 2021. Enough said. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've done a deal and my acquisition guy will show me pictures of it. There's blue tarps on the roof. The mailbox is knocked over. The driveway's black and the weeds are like 2 feet high. Probably 1 million people have driven by the property. It works. It's the fastest way to get a deal, in my opinion. The question is, how many addresses can you collect? And when you get older like me, you get like car sick going around collecting. I love it, man. Like if we're ever in a rut, and it happens to all, I'll send everybody that works for me, go out and tell everyone to get 150 addresses. We'll come back with as many as 1,000 addresses, and we just have a contest who can get the deal done, and I'll bonus people out on it. So if you guys are short on leads, get in the car and go drive. It works. The next thing is we're going to start flying drones to figure this stuff out. So yeah, why not? It works. I'm telling you. Good observation. If you have more money than time, what type of VAs would you hire to help you first find a deal? Also, what would you train or find an experienced one? So number one, more money and time. That's what you're all here for. So time's more valuable than money, hands down, because it's finite. You only get so many in a lifetime. Money will help you fast forward and gain more time to yourself and your family. So it's a key distinction you want to understand. As far as VAs are a mixed result. I think more and more people are starting to focus on working with people within the United States because let's face it, everybody's working virtually and people want to join in and they want the freedom to work wherever they want. So depends on what you want your VA to do. I will tell you this, just hiring a VA does not fix all your problems. You have to write a manual for them. You have to train them. So the only VAs I use right now is I have what I call busy work VAs, which do nothing but like data processing, organizing lists, scraping lists. And I hire them from the Philippines because they're on a 13-hour time difference, 12, 13-hour time difference. So when we're up and ready to roll in the morning, 8 o'clock, all the lists are ready to go and all the marketing people are ready to go. What I like to use is when I use people in the United States is they're going to connect with your customers. So I love to hire people to go into the database and do follow-up because that's where a lot of your greatest deals are found. Sometimes it takes a year or two and just follow-up and getting in their face. But you got to have a person that understands American culture, understands how to talk to people, and absolutely loves it and is an absolute like ninja, like crazy person, and they want to connect. Those are the two types of people I basically hire out. You guys know we run a small staff. I mean, we do 4.5 employees, and I have some people we bring on when we get busier, and that's it. My time's more valuable, man. Like, how much money do you need to make in life? So it's a good question. More money and time. Think about what you want and reverse engineer on how you're going to get it. So VAs, if you're going to use one to talk to your customers, make sure they're in the United States or South America, same time zone. Most of them are like bilingual and it's easy. They don't have a problem with what's going on in the States. You get someone from the Philippines to deal with your customers, it's really, really tough. I haven't had good experiences with it. It's just, we've trained people up to a year and it's just a really, really long learning and you don't want to spend money on doing that. So good question. Okay. Okay, let's shoot here. Life with Jacob. Let's say you've been researching wholesaling for a month and have a good understanding and have a good market budget of around $1,000. What do you recommend? So the good thing is you haven't spent 10 grand on a coaching program. So to me, you're like 10 grand ahead of the game. So $1,000. I have to get more information for you to best suit you for it. So the question is, do you like cold calling? If you don't like doing it, don't do it. And don't think you can just hire someone else to do it for you if you don't understand it. I love SMS because it's easily scalable and it's easy to do. The downside is you have to skip trace it, and it is a little bit manual, but it's a heck of a lot more efficient than cold calling. I will tell you that right off the bat. So in the perfect world, I would start with SMS. I would definitely, I would consider cold calling. I would do your research on it. Find out if RVM's legal in your state. I can't do it in Florida. We used to destroy it in RVM, and we can't do it anymore. So those are places I'd start on like a small budget, and then good old networking with bird dogs. I love working with bird dogs. Bird dogs is just finding people that can connect you with people who want to sell. So here's a little secret on bird dogs. Bartenders make the greatest bird dogs in the world. They talk to everybody. They hear everyone's problems. I get lots of deals from bartenders because they have to hear people's problems all day, and they'll tell you when a problem's brewing. So anyone who's in highly social groups, just let them know what you do and let them know you'll take care of them. Do not offer them $1,000 or $500 bonus. Let them know you'll take care of them, and you'll offer them like a marketing fee. And then once you do that, it's perfectly legal. If you induce them on the ability to, if the property closes and you pay them, you're actually paying them a commission, and you break a lot of rules. So I don't want to get you in trouble on that. So, okay, we're going speed round right now. I got 5 minutes. Okay. I get there. I'll answer. I see your stuff. I just, I don't move as fast as Zach. Also, experience, what is the best non-saturated list? So understanding everyone's chasing the list down. None of us have this. Your only private list you're going to have, if you have to put me on the spot, it would be your personal driving for dollars list, hands down, because you're the only one that has access to that information. After that, I like code violations. It's a lot of work, but man, I guarantee you the people on code violations definitely have problems. And then from there, I like probates. The problem with the probates is there's only so many leads and it's slow. But the key with probates is they're cheap. So as long as you're consistent with it, they work well. You only need one deal to make a $40,000 or $50,000 deal, and it would change your life. So why not do it? The problem is a lot of people want instant success. And sometimes you can get it, but more times than often is the person who's consistent that keeps on trucking away is going to get the best deals possible. So I can go on and on, but that's my order on it. He says, take over the drone. Drone, what? Yeah, driving for dollars. You come up with that. That'd be interesting. NCS, how do you feel about Bandit signs? I love Bandit signs. I think they're one of the greatest gifts ever given to them. The downside with Bandit signs is a lot of local city and county ordinances have basically outlawed them. In my local market, you actually, if you get caught and they figure it out, and a lot of them will bait you in to try to make an appointment with you, you actually have to go to court. So you get a summons to appear in court, and then they charge you like $200 per sign. So it can get expensive. After you do it a while, you can't get away because everybody knows you. But if I'm just starting out, man, I'm all in on Bandit signs. The only other downside is you got to buy signs is they're kind of heavy to ship in a box, and Bandit signs are almost twice the cost from when I started this business. So just like our typical supply chain, they've gone up. But Bandit signs, you can buy a blank one. Go get that big fat Sharpie marker from Home Depot and just say, don't use "We Buy House." That's very old. Just do 3 lines. One of the lines is your phone number, and just say, have cash to buy home, buy house, can close on house, cash to close on house now, something like that. Just keep it to 3 lines. I haven't done Bandit signs so long. I actually started Zach out in Bandit signs. I like Bandit signs. Just make sure you're not breaking any type of law, but they definitely work. You'll get leads on them. The question is, how soon are they going to get picked up? It says, you're the man. Thank you. Well said. Yeah. Do not give up. If you give up, it's over. So long as you're breathing, man, just go for it. So Tony Padella, how you doing, man? Wholesaling for a year part-time, 7 deals, 2 more waiting to close. Never got a lead from a list. So I don't know what market you're in, Tony, but if you have a moment, if you can go on the Flip with Rick Facebook site and expand on your story so we can all learn from it, because that's what we're here for. But congratulations. Dude, Tony, imagine what would happen if you did this business full-time. Yeah, that's what I said 18 years ago. And I've never looked back since then. Awesome job. Great. Okay, Rich. Good name, man. It's because like you're Rich and you're Richard, and I go by Rick, so I feel it. So I have a question about structuring a seller finance deal. Beginning here, what's a good formula for a seller finance as far as a down payment, interest, and amortization schedule? So I'm going to even make this simpler for you. So if you have a property where the seller is open to seller financing, a lot of times it should be the best fit for them because either there's not enough equity in the house, or a lot of times they just need to get out of town and they want to get the house done fast. So hopefully that fits into that. So as far as so I assume you're talking about the down payment with the seller. So this is really simple. Don't overthink this. The least amount you can get away with is what you're going to do because it's going to give you more options for it. I'm not looking to screw the seller, but if he wants me to take it over within a week, get it done and pay close to full price because we're getting a seller financing, then the down payment's got to be low. How low? Up to you. Very rarely do they take below $1,000, but like my max amount, like if the house is completely ready to go, and say you're taking over a payment of say $800 a month and you're renting it for $1,500, offer $1,000, and I like to go up to $3,000, but like it's all up to you. If you don't have the money, like you got to be smart about it. And by the way, if you don't have $3,000, just offer him more money on the deal. So say if you're buying it for $100,000, offer him $104,000 and tell him you'll give him $1,000 down. Or the other way is if you offered him $100,000 and he wants 5 or 10 grand down, it's all negotiable. The key is when you go to resell the property, or if you're going to do owner financing on the back end, make sure you cover it. So say you had to give this person, say $5,000. I don't know what it is. I want you to get away with $1,000, but I don't want you to upset them. Then the end user, I'm going to ask for a $10,000 to $15,000 down payment. That way, when you get the money, because usually I wait 30 days to fund people, depending on the deal. So if I get $15,000 down payment, I don't have to do any work to the house. I'll give $5,000 to the seller, and guess what? I keep the $10,000, and then I make the monthly cash flow. So it's nothing more than a math problem, Rich. It's a math problem. The key with the math problem is what can you afford to do, and how good of a deal is it? And just so I always start out, I said, Mr. Seller, and we talked about, I'm basically giving you full price on it. I can do that, but like the most I can give you right now is $1,000. But I'll take it over right away, and the first payment will come due in 30 days over that. And then they'll probably go, "Oh, you're crazy," and then you just volley it back to them. If they're asking for 30, 40 grand, dude, it's not a good seller finance deal in my opinion. And I don't want anybody starting out pulling out that kind of money to do that. So just do the math problem. Let me know. Oh, free and clear. Sky's the limit, man. Rich, sky's the limit. Whatever you want to do. But just make sure you cash flow from the day you put a tenant in there. There's so many people teaching courses where you put down 20 or 30,000. Listen, if you don't have it and you don't want to take that kind of risk, I would never take it in the beginning. Make sure you have a manageable number. I don't want you to overpay for the property, but the money is in the financing. It's not in the actual equity position in the deal. I've been known to actually overpay for a property. If I get a really low monthly payment and you can do the amortization, and by the way, interest rates are wonderfully low. So they're not shocked when you tell them, you'll pay them, 3.5%. The key is just try to get the lowest upfront cost you possibly can so you can cash flow when you sell the property. So, okay. I'm going to take 3 more questions and we are going to move on. Okay, Inside says, I've already bought Bandit signs that say we buy houses. No, listen, just use what you have on it. So here's another tip, guys. When you do Bandit signs, make sure you only print on one side because most of them are translucent and you can't see it. So work with what you have. And in the future, if you want, you can get the blank signs, grab that big fat Sharpie, and that way you can adapt the signs and you can do 20 at a time. It works very well. Good question. All right. These titles are awesome. So nobody uses name, everybody uses handle. I got to come up with a handle on my thing. So Slick Rick, Uncle Rick, whatever. What's the best suggestion for someone starting out but already has enough to invest into VAs and the app? Should I call myself or hire VAs? Listen, walk a mile, and you got to walk a mile in the shoes before you teach someone how to do it, because you don't know what the struggle is going to be, and you're going to waste a lot of time and money, resources. So I would always start out, document your event, get a deal or two, and then teach someone how to do it. That's the best way to do it. Rich, go get it. Hey, share the details on how you do on that deal. And guys, the more you guys can share it, not only your successes, your failures, because God knows I share enough of them with you guys. And I want everybody to win. I don't want there to be an obstacle between you and your success in wholesaling. And there's no reason you guys can't do it. That's it for question, guys. I'm going to sign off. If you have any questions or comments, join us on our Flip with Rick page on Facebook. You guys can hit us up on YouTube, Instagram. Everything's there. And guys, go out and get a deal, man. You got to make it happen. Don't sit here and wait for a coach to tell you how to do it. Find someone, work with me and Zach. We're not charging you, so you know where our heart is. I want everyone to be successful. Too many people rely on coaches and they get disappointed with it. Find somebody in your local market that's doing the business, partner up with them, whatever you want to do, and then bounce your ideas, share your ideas. Guys, do me a favor, share these lives, share the Facebook group, share the YouTube channel. The more people we get joined, the more powerful we become and the more people we can help out. So I appreciate you guys' time. I will see you in the next video. Rich, talk to that seller tonight. I love it. Nicholas, I appreciate the thank you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys.